So how you doing today, Sora?
I'm doing good,
Doing good?
except the fire alarm that happened at my apartment today this morning, and I had to get River out to the top.
That's never fun. Fire alarms early in the morning, they scare me half to death, especially if I'm still sleeping.
Oh no, what was bad is I was in the middle of taking a shower as well.
Oh no. That's probably that might be even worse. I haven't had that one happen yet. Well, anyways, let's move on. Uh so I have a few questions for you today, and just kind of how your time here at GodSquad Church has been an impact on your life, and how maybe it can impact other people's lives as well. And so you've been around for fairly long time. I've known you probably for about 6 years now, almost 7 years, I think we're going on. So it's been a while.
It's about the start since GSC pretty much started.
Which
So,
is, yeah, you've been here for a long time, so I think you have a lot to say, which is absolutely amazing. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
my name is soraoblivian. I like long walks on a beach, pretty girls.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, you wanted what? Okay. I my name is Sora, and I you know stream on Twitch sometimes. But what I do mostly is I work at a light shop, and I yeah. I mean, I don't. There's not really a lot to tell about myself there.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And so, let me ask you this: what are your types of favorite games to play?
ooh. Well, Boz, if you don't say one, I'm gonna slap you upside the head. Is what I'm gonna do. So, what's one of my favorite games?
Right now, it's called Disney Starlight. I think it's called
Disney Dreamlight Valley. But what's my
Dreamlight.
normal
Okay.
game?
Your normal game is Smite.
Yeah.
Smite. Yep.
By the way, when are we gonna play that again?
One
Because
one day. Let's. So let me ask you this. So when and how did you find God in your life?
ooh, yeah, that's actually a funny story. So how I found God was actually I grew up in the AG my entire life. Like I grew up in church my entire life, and about the age of 14, I kind of was like, if this is what Christians are really like, I don't want any part of them.
Mm,
They like I pronounced myself to be agnostic, almost to the point of atheist.
okay.
Um, by the time I was 21, I was an alcoholic and a couple other things. Um, it's just not appropriate for Twitch. And
Mm,
and I did whatever I want without any care in the world. Drank, partied, no drugs except alcohol. But I didn't really care. I was living with my grandparents at the time, and the one rule for living with my grandparents is that I had to go to church.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I grew up in church my entire life. I'll just chill in the sound booth, do sound, and troll the pastor while he's preaching. From there, there was this old man. He was about 75, 77.
Okay.
When I met him, the guy looked like Colonel Sanders in Kentucky. And I'm not lying to you. He looked exactly like the Colonel. He had the goatee, the white beard, white hair head, little bald spot right here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he kept inviting me, a 21-year old, kept inviting me to this thing called Chi Alpha. Every week he would invite me on Sunday morning to this thing called Chi Alpha. Just like, I don't, this is weird. Like an 80-something-year-old man should not be asking a 21-year-old guy to go to this thing called Chi Alpha.
Mm,
I finally ran out of excuses,
okay.
and I went to Chi Alpha.
Okay.
Then there was this man there by the name of Buckshot. Well, that's what we called him. His real name was Brian. And he said, "Hey, you want to go grab food with us?" I'm like, "I don't have any money, so I'm going to go with a big fat no." He goes, "I got you." I'm like, "You don't know me, but you're going to pay for my food?"
Mm-hmm.
Very sus. Very, very, very sus. And he invited me, and he said, "All right, do you want to? Well, after this, we're going to go back to the Chi Alpha Hall, and we're going to go feed the drunks in this town.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go?" I'm like, "Hey, you guys seem cool. Plus, that I'll get a laugh out of people drinking." So, I went, and of course, college age kids, they drink and party,
Mm-hmm.
and we fed people PB&J and lemonade that night.
Mm-hmm. This
continued for about a month, and I finally went to my grandparents. I said, "Does it matter where I go to church?" She goes, "No, just as long as you go to church." I'm like, okay. So my friends invited me to go to this church by the name of Church on the Rock in Kentucky.
Okay.
In Brea, Kentucky. And I went there. And at this point, I had been thinking, I'm like, if this is what Christianity is I could get down with this. I can do Christian.
Sure.
And accepted Jesus in my heart. A month later, I was baptized in water. A month after that, I was baptized in the Holy Spirit.
Mm.
And 2007, January of 2007, I went to Bible college at SAGU.
So you had kind of a rough history, as you were talking about when you really first started. Your relationship with God was pretty much non-existent at first. You knew about him, but you didn't have a relationship with him. But over a period of time, people extended offering of getting you into certain things, and then eventually landing yourself really in the right place with the right group of people.
Right.
You found God, and you found Jesus Christ in your life. So
right, and the other thing that led to me being an atheist at that point earlier in my life is just because me and you've had this private conversation. I was so sickly with epilepsy that I was like, if a God like this does this, why do I want to serve him? And
right.
Over time, my thought has changed drastically about that.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And I think a lot of people do struggle with that question, because we all deal with things in our life, whether it's like you dealing with epilepsy, people dealing with financial issues, maybe their marriage is rough, maybe they have just a bad family relationship, whatever it might be. And a lot of people ask that question. I think that's something that everybody deals with at some point in time, but it's all has to do with the perspective. We won't get into it right now because that's a very loaded question. We'll be here for a long time. But I think having that different perspective though is very important. I really do. I think that's very important. So let me ask you this question: How did you find GodSquad Church? Like I said before, you've been here for a long time. So how did you find GodSquad Church though?
Through Matt, actually.
Okay.
So back in the day,
when you say Matt, you mean Susie, right?
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, sorry. Back in the day, I wanted to start an anime ministry geared specifically to otakus, weebs, whatever you want to call them. All I call them is my people.
Mm.
Shout out to anime lovers. Let's go. And I met him through a mutual contact in the Assemblies of God under 40. And me and him got to talking. He said, "Hey, I'm doing this ministry called GodSquad Church. Come and check it out. It's on Twitch." I'd never heard of Twitch. And I was like, "All right, cool. Whatever." And I got on Twitch and I started hanging out with him. That's how I met, came to GSC. And what was funny is the very first time I came to GSC, I actually won the giveaway.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I won
funny.
the giveaway. 5 years later, when Blue Eyes became the queen of the giveaway, I
Hmm.
finally won it again. But watch it, I say it in the giveaway next time is still going to go to Blue Eyes. I guarantee it, 100%.
It's a possibility. But yeah, I think that's awesome, and that you've been here for such a long time. You're able to get in contact with multiple different people and stuff like that. I think that's
Mhm.
great that you found it so early on, because a lot of people, and it doesn't matter how long you've been here, right? Whether you've been here
Right.
for a month, maybe even just a week, but you've been here for a long time, so you've kind of seen, us go through, like every church does, the ups and the downs, the community and stuff like that, the changes and stuff like that, which is it's awesome that
Changes? What are you talking
no
about?
changes. But
No
yeah, it's
changes.
awesome that you've been around for that long. So now, because you've been here such a long time, let me ask you this: how has God Squad Church impacted your life?
Besides being able to troll all my friends,
Yes, besides that.
besides, um, honestly, one of the big things is the GSC actually kind of helped me get into the mentality where my seizures were a blessing instead of a curse.
Wow.
Um, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, me and you had a private conversation.
Hmm.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you were going through some stuff. And I was like, I understand where he is coming from and in his position and the other elements associated with his position. And I get how that other person feels. And I understand all that. And I do remember that at that point, you were kind of down in the dumps.
Hmm.
And, just talking to you and kind of talking you through how that other individual, you know, felt. I saw you start to get a little bit happier.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, God, is this why I had epilepsy for all these years? So I can communicate to people like when they're going through that
Right.
and be able to be an empath and help them. Um, so that was actually the start of that. That's one of the huge things, GSC did. Although, and then another one, you guys have helped me when my dad passed and my grandparents passed.
Right.
Just, just being able to be there and talk and just vent. I mean, I still deal with trauma from all that stuff, but being in a community and plugging into a community. And here's the important thing: like way back in the day, uh, GSC used to have the motto of our mission is not for us to be a church that you come to, but for us to be a gateway to plug you into a physical location.
Right.
To a point, that's still kind of the thing, but there's some of us who just can't go to churches, whether it's because of cars or whether that's because of mental stuff or whatever,
Hmm.
or physical stuff. And you know, bottom line is that the church is wherever you go.
Yep. Like you said, the people that are here that are involved and they really got plugged in, like it like you started talking about community, and that's something that we really tried to build here, is a close, tight-knit community of people, whether that's through our small groups or through some other platform or something like that. We have a great community of people that's here, and I think experiencing a community is one of the greatest things that you can have in your life. We were not built to be isolated. We were not built to be going solo. We were built to be
Right.
with other people in relationship. That's how God
Right.
created us, and I think it's so important to have that. And so this community is absolutely amazing. Like you started to say, this community is a great community, and it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad that the community and that this church has been able to be an impact on your life. But like you said, kind of segueing into next question, right? So how are you currently plugged in? How are you currently connected to GodSquad Church?
How I am currently plugged in and connected is I am the advisor for GSC on all things anime, and
Pretty much.
I don't think that's accurate. I think
not completely accurate, but yeah, I see where you're going with it.
I think that's my unofficial title.
Okay.
From the staff. I mean,
so what do you do though?
Besides telling you to watch better anime all the time, I am an EXP group leader.
Yes.
And we are going through a series called Descendants of a Bookworm, and how I love my group because it's so fun. How it works is we watch an anime episode, do a Bible study on that episode, and just kind of go at it that way. As a matter of fact, if it's okay with you, Boz, I would absolutely love to share the thing we did last semester, if that's okay with you, because
sure.
I found it funny. The Lord is my sensei. I lack nothing. He makes me meditate under waterfalls. He refuels my stamina and guides me to the path of the sage. Even though I walk through the demon world, I will fear no evil, for my sensei is with me. Your magical staff and spirit orb, they comfort me. You prepare hot pot before me in the presence of my enemies, and you anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the temple of the Lord forever.
So basically what you did is you took anime stuff and kind of included that into, Psalm 23, obviously. And yeah. And so you're having impactful conversations with each other, building genuine relationships. I know you have a great relationship with those people in there, because I know some of the people that are in your group, and they love the group. They love being able to be there. And I'm not a big anime person. But, and you know that as well.
That's okay. Well, I'll slowly convert you.
But the fact of the matter that's so amazing is the different XP groups that we do have. They're all based on specific interests. Whether it's one group doing D&D, which actually you were the person that kind of spawned that group the first semester that we started doing these types of XP groups, and it morphed into an anime group instead, which is completely okay because we had somebody else take over the D&D groups, which is awesome. And both groups are doing amazing. But the fact of the matter is there's different XP groups with different interests all over the place. And so no matter where somebody's at, no matter what they're interested, they'll be able to find something, whether it's a specific Bible study, a specific video game, or something that's a niche interest to them, kind of like anime. They can find something that's for them in the XP groups. And so you kind of took on a leadership role inside of that. And, I think it was the first semester, you were like, hey, I'd like to lead a group. And that's how you got plugged into the XP groups.
I was a group leader before that.
You were a group leader before that. Yeah. And then right. And then we pivoted direction on what we were doing with the experience groups, turned them into what's called XP groups now. And then you continued on with leading in a different way. And so I think that's awesome. And so there might be people who are on the fence, though, about getting connected into the community, whether that's becoming a part of a small group or even just getting connected into the community at all. What would you have to say to the people who might be on the fence of getting connected inside of GodSquad Church?
I would honestly tell them, build a bridge, get over it, suck it up, and just do it. No.
In lighter words.
And in all honesty here, so I'm going to speak from my personal experience. During the time my dad and my grandpa passed was super, super hard for me.
Right.
So much so that I need a service dog now for some of the stuff I have to deal with. Honestly, if it wasn't for GSC, I'd probably be in a lot worse spot, especially like your wife, boss. Like, she's absolutely amazing.
I agree.
And because like I know, like the minute my dad passed, and I called you and you said, "Hey man, I'm a little bit busy." You told me, "Hey, your wife's gonna call me and just call and check on me and talk me through things."
Right.
And she did, and I absolutely love Deanie, and I love you because here's the thing you guys may not know about Boz. And I'm gonna actually say something positive about him, and this is the only time for the rest of the year that I will say anything positive about him. So
we only got a month and a half left, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Ray and his wife are one of the most caring people I have ever met in my entire life. As a matter of fact, I will go as far to say that they would actually probably give you the shirt off their back if they could. All of GSC staff, at least all the ones that I've known throughout the years, 90% of them are the same way. There's a leadership model called servant leadership, and that's an entire sermon by itself, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. But basically what it is in a nutshell is that they will go and see what the community needs or what individuals need and try to work their way to make it progress. And as much flack as I give him and the rest of the GSC staff, I mean, every single one of them knows that I absolutely love them. And if there's anything they need that I could do, I would do it in a heartbeat. But saying that, my time of nice response for Boz is now over, so back to trolling.
No, and we love you too, man, for real, from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you. And I do have one last question for you though, before we end here, is what is something that God is currently doing in your life or speaking to you that you would like to share with the community right now?
Oh, you gotta do that one.
You gotta do that one.
One of the things, and he's been working with me all this year over this, is he is that he is. And here's what I mean by that, okay? I've shared this with you before, Boz, so I you know where I'm going with this. God is who he is. In Exodus, we all know the story of the fiery bush. God says, I am... Who is he, Boz? I am that I...
That I am, yep.
Okay, I was about to say you need to read your Bible more, sir. You need to read your Bible more.
I didn't know you were asking for a response from me, but continue.
Okay, so I am that I am. If God is the God who is an artist and makes beauty, that means that he defines beauty. And since God defines beauty, that everything that we perceive is what we perceive to be beautiful comes from God. And since everything that we perceive beautiful comes from God, that must mean that a baby smiling at you is something beautiful that comes from God. The healing of a man that has had epilepsy his entire life is a beautiful sight because there's hope in him. That hope comes from God. If the refining process is beautiful, that comes from God.
And he's an infinite God. He's a sovereign God. And so, hey, I want to tell you, Sora, you've been here, like I said, for a while. We appreciate you so much, and I'm glad that God has had an impact on your life, and I think that through your testimony of some of the things that you said today, I truly believe that other people will understand that how GodSquad Church can impact the lives of not just soraoblivian or even myself, but it can impact the lives of multiple people all around the world, many, many people. And so thank you for your time here today and taking this time to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, no problem.